Judges chapter 20. And all the children of Israel came out from Dan to Beersheba, and from the land of Gilead, and the congregation assembled as one man before Yah at Mizpah. And the leaders of all the people and all the tribes of Israel presented themselves in the assembly of the people of Yah, 400,000 foot soldiers who drew the sword. And the children of Benjamin heard that the children of Israel had gone up to Mizpah. And the children of Israel said, Speak up, how did this evil come about? And the man, the Levite, husband of the woman who was murdered, answered and said, My concubine and I went into Geba, which belongs to Benjamin, to spend the night. And the masters of Geba rose against me and surrounded the house at night because of me. They thought to kill me, but instead they humbled my concubine, and she died. Then I took my concubine and cut her in pieces, and sent her throughout all the land of the inheritance of Israel, because they committed wickedness and folly in Israel. Look, you are all children of Israel. Speak and give your counsel here. And all the people rose as one man, saying, Let not one of us go to his tent, nor any of us turn back to his house. And now, this is what we do to Geba, go against it by lot. And we shall take 10 men out of every 100 throughout all the tribes of Israel, and 100 out of every 1,000, and 1,000 out of every 10,000, to make food for the people to prepare for their going to Geba and Benjamin, for all the folly they did in Israel. And all the men of Israel were gathered against the city, knit together as one man. And the tribes of Israel sent men through all the tribe of Benjamin, saying, What is this evil that has come about among you? And now give us the men, the sons of Belial, who are in Geba, so that we put them to death, and put away evil from Israel. But the children of Benjamin would not listen to the voice of their brothers, the children of Israel. So the children of Benjamin gathered together from their cities to Geba, to go to battle against the children of Israel. And from their cities at that time, the children of Benjamin registered 26,000 men who drew the sword, besides the inhabitants of Geba, who registered 700 chosen men. Among all this people there was 700 chosen men, who were left-handed. Each one could sling a stone at a hair's breadth and not miss. And besides Benjamin, the men of Israel registered 400,000 men who drew the sword. All of these were men of battle. And the children of Israel rose and went up to Bethel to ask of Yah. And they said, Who of us go up first to battle against the children of Benjamin? And Yah said, Yehuda first. And the children of Israel rose in the morning and encamped against Geba. And the men of Israel went out to battle against Benjamin. And the men of Israel put themselves in battle array to fight against them in Geba. And the children of Benjamin came out of Geba, and on that day cut down to the ground 22,000 men of Israel. But the people and the men of Israel strengthened themselves, and again formed a battle line at the place where they had put themselves in array on the first day. And the children of Israel went up and wept before Yah until evening, and asked of Yah, saying, Should I again draw near for battle against the children of my brother Benjamin? And Yah said, Go up against them. And the children of Israel drew near to the children of Benjamin on the second day. And Benjamin went out against them from Geba on the second day, and cut down to the ground 18,000 more of the children of Israel. All these drew the sword. And all the children of Israel, even all the people, went up and came to Bethel, and wept and sat there before Yah, and fasted that day until evening. And they offered ascendant offerings and peace offerings before Yah. And the children of Israel asked of Yah. The ark of the covenant of Yah was there in those days. And Phinehas, son of Eleazar, son of Aharon, stood before it in those days, saying, Should I yet again go out to battle against the children of my brother Benjamin, or should I cease? And Yah said, Go up, for tomorrow I give them into your hand. And Israel set ambushes all around Geba. And the children of Israel went up against the children of Benjamin on the third day, and put themselves in battle array against Geba as the other times. And the children of Benjamin came out to meet the people, drawn away from the city. And they began to strike some of the people, slaying as at the other times in the highways. of which one went up from Bethel, and the other to Geba in the field, about 30 men of Israel. And the children of Benjamin said, They are going to be smitten before us as previously. But the children of Israel said, Let us flee and draw away from the city to the highways. And all the men of Israel rose from their place and put themselves in battle array at Baal Tamar. And the ambush of Israel broke forth from their position at Ma'ara Geba. And 10,000 chosen men from all Israel came against Geba, and the battle was fierce, and they did not know that calamity was close to them. And Yah smote Benjamin before Israel, and the children of Israel destroyed 25,100 men on that day in Benjamin. All these drew the sword. And the children of Benjamin saw that they were smitten, and the men of Israel had given ground to the Benjamites, because they had trusted in the ambush that they had set against Geba. And the ambush hurried and came against Geba, and the ambush spread out and struck the entire city with the edge of the sword. And the appointed signal between the men of Israel and the ambush was that they would make a great cloud of smoke rise up from the city. Then the men of Israel would turn in battle, and Benjamin began to strike dead about 30 of the men of Israel. For they said, They are indeed smitten before us as at the first battle. Then the cloud began to rise from the city in a column of smoke, and the Benjamites looked behind them and saw the entire city going up in smoke to the heavens. And when the men of Israel turned back, the men of Benjamin were troubled, for they saw that calamity was close to them. And they turned their backs before the men of Israel toward the way of the wilderness. But the battle overtook them, while those who had come out of the cities were destroying them in their midst. They surrounded the Benjamites and pursued them, and with ease trampled them down as far as the front of Geba toward the east. And there fell Benjamin 18,000 men. All of these were mighty men. And they turned and fled toward the wilderness to the rock of Rimmon. And they cut down 5,000 of them on the highways, and followed after them up to Gidon, and struck 22,000 of them. And all who fell of Benjamin that day were 25,000 men, who drew the sword. All of these were mighty men. But 600 men turned and fled toward the wilderness to the rock of Rimmon, and they dwelt at the rock of Rimmon for 4 new moons. And the men of Israel turned back against the children of Benjamin, and struck them with the edge of the sword, from every city, men and beasts, all who were found, and they set fire to all the cities they came to.